The summoning of the Fire-Kindler. The invitation came late in the evening. At my door stood a messenger, dressed in colorful livery, and in his hands was a scroll of parchment sealed with the king's insignia. A great celebration was to be held at court, a pageantry of light and delight was promised, and I was cordially invited to attend. Before the sun could peer over the horizon to start the new day, I set off. The day passed quickly, and evening was old and the night very close as I came to the city gates. They were shut, and no one answered my knocking. Eventually, I pushed the gates open and stepped into the gloomy dusk that gathered behind the city walls. The street was silent, save for the sound of my footfalls on the cobblestone. Cautiously, and fearing what I may come across, I made my way up the street to the crest of the hill. There, stood the castle of the king, with its towers and spires reaching for the sky. When I entered the great hall, I saw the king. He sat in his high seat, robed in royal red, above a sullen court. The courtiers stood motionless in the dark hall, pondering their fate. The gaunt jester was sitting on the steps of the throne, the piper stared through the window to the night sky, and the choir was struck dumb. Suddenly, the king's gaze rose from the court to me, and he smiled curiously. With a motion of his hand he bade me to approach. With a whisper he told me to climb the topmost tower and ring the great bells. Only by this, he told me, shall the Night Queen's spell be broken. I hurried up the tower, up the winding stairs that lead to the spire and the bells. Behind me I could hear footfalls that were not mine own and see twisting figures whose feet made them. I came to the belfry high above the sleeping city and grasped the chains, pulling them with all of my strength. Above me there came a great crashing peal, and the spire and the tower below swayed as it rang down the winding stairway, and caused my pursuers to shriek and recede back into the darkness. Presently came the response. From the high place of the belfry I could see a dart of light in the east. A flash of red, it appeared to me. It moved through the hillsides then across the plains as a chariot. The doors of the great hall opened, and she entered. Robed in deep red and bright gold, tall and lithe of frame, she gracefully crossed the hall. From the fire that crowned her head she took a single blazing lock and cast it into a brazier. Flames rose from the brazier and light filled the room, and then the spell was broken. The king nodded as the courtiers looked to him. The jester rose to his feet and started his hijinks to a playful tune of the piper, and then the choir was roused to a hum, and then to a strong harmony. From the eastern window came the dawn. The Fire-Kindler bowed to the king and his court, and then she withdrew and departed to the west. The king motioned me to stand by his side as he rose from his seat. He ordered the festivities to begin, and he smiled as the dance commenced. King Crimson, the court of the Crimson King,